Another video. This one is going to be a bit different because this is something I've always wanted to do. If anybody knows me, knows I absolutely love crime and I'm obsessed with it. Murders, serial killers, anything to do with crime. Not that, you know, it makes me want to do it or anything, but it just interests me and I'm just addicted. It's all I watch. So I also love doing makeup, so I thought I'd combine the two and do my makeup as I talk about crime stories. I'm still going to be doing my shopping hauls and beauty and different little bits, but I thought I'd just try this out because I've always wanted to do it and just see how it goes. So if you want to give me feedback or tell me how you've enjoyed it, leave it in the comment below. And if you do like this video and you like makeup and you love crime, then you can always like and subscribe, and I really appreciate it if you do. Getting my words mixed up. So before we get into the makeup, this video is going to be about the Pembrokeshire Murders, which, as you know, I'm from Wales, I'm Welsh. Pembrokeshire is in Wales, and this is why I thought I would do this story as my first one, because this story is also on ITV. You can catch up on ITV Hub. It's a series and it stars the very dishy Luke Evans. He's the main detective in it, and you can catch up on Hub and it's really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. He is also from Wales, and I'll have to look up where he's from. It's quite close to me, actually. Played a very good character and it went right around the world. So let's get into the story.
Two of Wales's most baffling crimes. Decades on, these two double murders are being reinvestigated.
We think one man did all 4 murders. Given the opportunity, men like him, they always kill again.
So John William Cooper was born 1944 in Milford Haven in Wales, and Cooper had a history of violence and crime, and footage from the old television game show Bullseye. If anybody have watched that as a kid, I did. I loved Bullseye, which was like playing darts and, you know, you'd win money or whatever. And that was shown in 1989. And that's where they took evidence from the footage of when he was on Bullseye. They used that as evidence, and it was to do with his hair, because he lied about having, he'd never had long hair, he'd always had short hair. But when they found this footage, they could see that he clearly had like shoulder length, like curly hair. I probably sat and watched it because I was born in 1984 and I was about 5 and I used to love watching it. So I probably sat and watched the episode he was on. Ach a fi. And it was damning evidence as they say, because they took the sketch that was described by one of the victims, and if you put it side by side to the bullseye, when he was on bullseye, to the image, it was bang on. It was exact side profile, exactly the same. So they used that, and that was a big piece of evidence in the case. So between the ages of 17 and 21, Cooper was charged with theft of a vehicle, and also assaulting a police officer. So that was when he was quite young. Being drunk and disorderly, and causing actual bodily harm. So he was quite an very nice character from a young age. In 1978, he entered a competition in the newspaper, and it was called Spot the Ball, and he won £90,000, which was a lot of money in them days. You're talking quite a few million, what it would be worth in nowadays. And he won a £4,000 car. After this, a friend of him said that he became to have, the money went to his head because it was a lot of money, and he developed a very bad drinking and gambling habit, and it just spiralled out of control. It spiralled out of control because the money just went to his head, and he lost all of the money. So this is when he started doing robberies and armed robberies to try and get money back, because obviously this money could have lasted him a lifetime, but obviously he was that stupid that he just lost it all. This friend also said that everyone was scared of him because, he always had like this evil look on his face. He was just violent all the time and was getting into like loads of fights. So he was known as like the hard man, sort of, don't mess with him. So people were afraid to even talk to him or approach him. So I suppose, and I'm not sticking up for him here because he's absolutely vile, but I mean, he was probably living like, in a very lonely place, really. If he was like surrounding himself with people who are just scared of him. Well, not surrounding himself with people who were scared of him, but nobody wanted to be around him, did they? So in 1985, Cooper targeted a farmhouse in Scarvestan Park in Pembrokeshire, and he went inside and robbed a brother and a sister. He entered the property of Richard and Helen Thomas, a brother and sister, and he killed them, and then he burnt down the house with them inside. On June 29th, 1989, a month after Cooper appeared on Bullseye, he watched a couple named Gwendon and Peter Dixon, who were on their holidays in Pembrokeshire on the coast. He watched them going on their coastal walk and jumped out on them and threatened them with a shotgun to give him the bank card and the PIN number, which they did. And then after having the bank card and the PIN number, he robbed Peter of £300, and then he carelessly just shot them in the face at point blank range. It's just, what goes on in people's minds? Awful, awful, just sick, absolutely sick. So then, in 1996, he threatened, attacked 5 youngsters. He raped one girl and sexually assaulted the other. By 1998, Cooper had committed 30 burglaries and an armed robbery, and he got away with it right up until 2011, which is absolutely shocking. So in 2011, the case was reopened by a detective known as Steve Wilkins, who worked tirelessly right round the clock to try and solve this cold case that had been, you know, forgotten about all this time. This Steve Wilkins is the one that Luke Evans plays. And did I say he plays it fantastic? It is definitely one to watch. Anyway, Cooper was given a whole life sentence in 2011 for the 1985 killing of the brother and sister Richard and Helen Thomas. He was also given years added to that for the double murder of Peter and Gwenda Dixon. And these murders were known as the Pembrokeshire Murders. And another name in the media, they were known as the Pembrokeshire Murders. Another name that this John Cooper was given was the Bullseye Killer, as for being on the game show Bullseye. Cooper was also sentenced for the rape and assault on and sexual assault on the 15-year-old, both by gunpoint. Liked his guns, didn't he? The coward what he is. He was diagnosed as a psychopath, which makes it quite fitting for my Psycho Sundays. This is what I'm going to name my channel. Well, not my channel, my crime videos. Psycho Sunday. So I'll be uploading every Sunday. Anyway, so he was diagnosed as being a psychopath, and so he should be. So this Steve Wilkins, this brilliant detective, dug up all the evidence, the old evidence that was locked away in the office or whatever, and re-looked at it all, and obviously really worked tirelessly around the clock and found even more evidence to convict this like psycho of a guy. And I have watched the series on ITV. It's on also ITV Hub, so definitely one to take a look at. It's set in obviously now, but it gives you the sense of actually being there years ago with the fashion styles and things. And I think once I start watching it, I was addicted. I'm addicted to any crime, but you will really thoroughly enjoy it. If you don't, you're mad. But take a look and you will definitely enjoy. I got no doubt about that. I'll chuck a few more photos up here if you just see the kind of, you know, era it's in. Just to get an idea whether it will be one for you to watch or not. So that's the end of this week's story. I hope you join me next Sunday for my next Psycho Sunday, where we'll be doing crime and cosmetics. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.